Good morning, students. So this is the continuation of the practical class. Regarding practicals, as you are aware, you will have problem-based learning, prescription writing, then CCR, that is criticize, correct, and rewrite. Okay, and then you will have spotters. Okay, which will be dealt in your subsequent classes. And then you have two in the spotters. You will have some proved drugs. Okay, and also some clinical charts to be identified. So regarding clinical charts, there are 5 clinical charts which has to be identified. Okay, today I will tell about 3 clinical charts and next 2 clinical charts will be done tomorrow. So what are the 5 clinical charts? So first clinical chart is this picture will be given to you. You have to identify what is this adverse drug reaction, then drugs causing this adverse drug reaction. Okay, the questions will be given in the down of the clinical chart. First is identify the ADR. Second is name the drugs causing this ADR. Okay. So first, what is this adverse drug reaction? As you can identify, there is swelling of the leaves. Okay, swelling of the leaves. So it is called as angioedema. Okay, it is called as angioedema. So what are the drugs causing angioedema? The most common drugs you all will be knowing, that is your ACE inhibitors. That is angiotensin converting enzyme inhibitors. Okay, ACE inhibitors. Then what is the mechanism of action of drugs causing this angioedema and signs and symptoms? Okay, this is only for the theoretical purpose you should know. Any question can be asked regarding this chart. Okay, first identify the ADR, what are the drugs causing this ADR, and then can be asked the signs and symptoms and treatment also. It depends what question can be asked. So you have to read detailing about the angioedema. So first, what is angioedema? So mostly angioedema is nothing but there is transient swelling will be there. Okay, swelling of the defined areas in deep dermis or subcutaneous tissue resulting from the vascular leakage. Okay, there will be swelling of those defined areas, mostly in the deeper dermis area or subcutaneous tissue because of the increased capillary permeability or vascular leakage. So it tends to be large and pale and not pruritic. Okay, it will not be associated with itching. Then it occurs anywhere in the body and mostly it persists for a day or more. So what is the mechanism behind that? Mostly there are some cells which are involved in this, mostly basophils, and most common will be your cutaneous mast cells. Okay, cutaneous mast cells. So mast cell activation occurs through both IgE mediated and non-IgE mediated mechanisms. Okay, so the mechanism behind the angioedema will be the formation of the mast cells. The next is what is angioedema? The definition is, as I already told you, it is a swelling of the lower layer of the skin which is called as the dermis part and tissue just below the or under the skin of the mucous membrane. So it can be there either in the face or tongue, larynx, abdomen, arms or legs. See, most commonly areas will be your eyes, lips, mouth and tongue. Okay, you can see your rashes are there, swelling below the eyes, then swelling of the leaves, and other symptoms will be abdominal pain, shortness of breath, dizziness and fainting. Okay, so commonly affected areas will be eyes, lips, mouth, tongue, genital area, hands and feet. Okay, onset is typically over minutes to hours, and angioedema can be of either hereditary angioedema or acquired angioedema. Okay, so it's nothing but the swelling in the deeper part of the skin, mostly the dermis area, and also just under the skin and mucous membrane. Then what are the signs and symptoms? Sudden appearance of the red rashes will be there, mostly near the eyes, lips and also hands and feet. Then painful swelling or burning of the lips. Okay, sometimes itchy. Then discolored patches. See, this patch is discolored compared to the normal skin. So discolored patches or rashes on the hands, feet, face or genitalia. Okay. And then hoarseness of the voice, tight or swollen throat and trouble in breathing. Okay. So sudden appearance of the reddish rashes will be there. Then swelling of the lips will be there. Discolored patches or rashes on the hands, feet, face and genitalia, and then hoarseness or tight or swollen throat and trouble in breathing. Then types of angioedema will be acute or allergic angioedema, idiopathic angioedema, drug-induced angioedema, hereditary angioedema. Okay, acute or allergic means it is mostly caused by an allergic reaction. Most common can be any food allergic or reaction to the peanuts. Okay, that is called acute or allergic angioedema. Idiopathic means, as an name suggests, idiopathic, so cause is unknown. Drug induced is mostly because of certain medications, and hereditary is mainly because of some faulty genes that was inherited from the person's parents. Okay, genetic. So it can be acute or allergic, idiopathic, drug induced, and hereditary. The clinical chart here suggests the drug induced angioedema. Now, what is a drug induced? Most common drug, as I already told you, is ACE inhibitors. Okay, that is angiotensin converting enzyme inhibitors. So, what are the drugs? Captopril, ramipril, then captopril, ramipril will be there, benadryl will be there. So, all ending with two prils. Okay, all ending enalapril, lisinopril. All prils are ACE inhibitors which are mostly indicated for treating the hypertension. Okay, so what happens is whenever there is a decrease in the blood volume, it causes secretion of angiotensinogen. Okay, and this angiotensinogen with the help of renin hormone, which is secreted by the juxtaglomerular cells of the kidney. This renin converts angiotensinogen to angiotensin 1. Then angiotensin 1 gets converted to angiotensin 2 by angiotensin converting enzyme. This enzyme is secreted by the lungs. And this angiotensin 2 acts on AT1 receptors. Okay, AT1 receptors, and which helps in secretion of aldosterone, antidiuretic hormone secretion, then the arterial vasoconstriction, then sympathetic overdrive and thirst. Okay, so aldosterone secretion causes renal sodium and fluid retention, and antidiuretic hormone also causes more of the absorption of the sodium and potassium excretion. Then there will be arterial vasoconstriction. Vasoconstriction leads to increase in the blood pressure. Okay, and other than this, ACE enzyme also causes degradation of bradykinin. Okay, bradykinin is a vasodilator peptide. Okay, vasodilator peptide, and this ACE enzyme causes degradation of bradykinin to inactive peptides. So what happens when you take these ACE inhibitors? First is this enzyme will be inhibited. So no more this cycle will take place. So there is no secretion of aldosterone, no vasoconstriction. In that way, it causes decrease in the BP. Similarly, when you block this enzyme, bradykinin cannot be degraded. So there will be accumulation of this bradykinin. Okay, accumulation of this bradykinin, and that act on bradykinin receptors, and this peptide is responsible for swelling because it causes vascular permeability and accumulation of the fluid. So that causes swelling. Okay. So understood the role of mostly this angioedema, swelling of the leaves and all is caused by ACE inhibitors. So what is this enzyme means? Whenever our blood pressure gets lowered, compensatory mechanism takes place and there is secretion of angiotensinogen. This angiotensinogen gets converted to angiotensin 1 with the help of renin. This renin is secreted by the juxtaglomerular cells of the kidney. This angiotensin 1 gets converted to angiotensin 2 by the enzyme ACE, that is angiotensin converting enzyme secreted by the lungs. This angiotensin 2 gets converted acts on AT1 receptors and causes secretion of aldosterone and ADH secretion that causes renal sodium and fluid retention. It also causes arterial vasoconstriction and that leads to hypertension, increase in the BP. And also ACE is an enzyme which causes mostly degradation of the bradykinin, which is a vasodilatory peptide, and because we are inhibiting this enzyme, bradykinin cannot be degraded and there is accumulation of bradykinin and it acts on these receptors. Okay. So bradykinin plays an important role in the hereditary angioedema. This is a vasodilator, so it increases vascular permeability and rapid accumulation of the fluid in the intersystem. Okay, so that is more obvious over your face, and also where the skin has little supporting tissue, the edema develops there more easily. So angiotensin enzyme converting enzyme inhibitor drugs like captopril, enalapril, ramipril, lisinopril. Okay, this all causes angioedema because of the it inhibits ACE enzyme. So bradykinin cannot be degraded to the inactive peptides, and there is accumulation of bradykinin. Okay, which is a vasodilator. It increases vascular permeability and rapid accumulation of the fluid in the intersystem that develops the swelling. So what is the other alternative drugs you can give to treat hypertension if the patient complains to you of brassy cough? Okay, that also happens because of accumulation of bradykinin. Swelling. So what other drugs you can give for treating a hypertensive patient is ARBS, that is angiotensin receptor blocker. Okay, angiotensin receptor blocker. That is, they directly will act to angiotensin receptor blocker, directly will inhibit these AT1 receptors. There is no action on this flow chart. Okay, these steps. They will directly block this AT1 receptor and this all will be inhibited. And there is no action on bradykinin. So brassy cough and swelling will not be seen with ARBS. Okay, so what are the drugs causing angioedema? Mostly ACE inhibitors, which I already told, ramipril, captopril, enalapril, lisinopril, all prils are ACE inhibitors. NSAIDs like ibuprofen also causes. And some drugs are there with allergic angioedema, that is antibiotics, mostly beta-lactam and quinolones. Okay, mechanism is not known, but it may cause angioedema. Iodinated contrast media. Okay, during any radiographic diagnostic procedure, when they inject a contrast media, there is chance of developing a hypersensitivity reaction which leads to angioedema. And neuromuscular blocking agents. Okay, main drugs are ACE inhibitors, NSAIDs. Other drugs you can write is antibiotic, beta-lactam and quinolones, then iodinated contrast media and neuromuscular blocking agents. Then what is the management? So mostly any allergic reactions can be treated with antihistamines, and mostly first two we are choosing an H1 antihistamines because it has got some sedative property. Okay, so sometimes the reactions are very painful and itching, and that too interferes with the person's sleep. So we need to give a sedative. So H1 antihistamines like chlorpheniramine can be given 24 milligram per oral daily, or diphenhydramine, that is 25 to 50 milligram per oral 4 times a day. Okay, QID. Loratadine, desloratadine, cetirizine, levocetirizine are the second generation antihistamines. If the person is not having severe itching episodes and sleep is also proper, in that case you doesn't have to give a first generation antihistamines which are highly sedative. You can always give a second generation antihistamines which are less sedative and it does not have any antimuscarinic side effects also. So the drugs can be loratadine, desloratadine, cetirizine and levocetirizine. Okay. Then nicotine receptor antagonist, okay, montelukast and gefilukast. They can be an add-on therapy, not a regular therapy. If the person are not responding to these drugs, you can add on a drug, that is montelukast and gefilukast. Okay. Then typical glucocorticoids are of no value in the management of urticaria and angioedema. Okay, mostly it's not needed to. Systemic also we are not giving because they have a long-term toxicity, steroids. So mostly the reaction subsides, you stop the drug and then you start with an antihistamines. That can be first generation if you want a sedative property, or second generation cetirizine, levocetirizine, loratadine, desloratadine can be given, and nicotine receptor antagonist, that is montelukast and gefilukast. Then complete to the come to the next chat, that is chat number 2. So identify this chat. What is this chat showing? See here, the newborn baby is having the seal-like limbs. Okay, you can see there are no fingers, nothing, seal-like limbs. Okay, just like flippers. Okay, just like flippers. So what is this reaction? This is called phocomelia. Okay, phocomelia, which is the seal-like limbs and is mostly caused by the drug, that is thalidomide. Okay, thalidomide. So what is the history of thalidomide? See, thalidomide is a drug which was developed in 1950s by some West German pharmaceutical company. Okay, and first this drug was having the property like tranquilizer and sedative, and other than that they also have found effective in other conditions like cold, flu, nausea, and most common is this drug was prescribed to treat a pregnant lady who are having morning sickness in the first trimester. Okay, usually first trimester they complain of morning sickness, so they were giving this drug to treat that morning sickness. But later they found that the impact on development was linked to when during pregnancy the drug was taken, and the effect only occurred between 20 to 37 days. Okay, after conception, whoever pregnant lady, they took this drug between 20 to 37 days after conception for treatment of morning sickness. Then those babies, they found to have this congenital anomaly, that is called seal-like limbs. Okay, so this drug was first discovered to have a property like sedative, tranquilizer, and also to treat the common symptoms like cold, flu, and also to treat the morning sickness in a pregnant lady between 20 to 37 days. So when they gave this drug, they found that those pregnant ladies, when they gave birth to the babies, that newborn baby had this seal-like limbs. Okay, seal-like limbs will be there. See, like flippers. So that is called as phocomelia or amelia. It is a rare condition that causes very short limbs. It's a type of congenital disorder. What do you mean by congenital means? It is present at birth. So the word phocomelia means seal limb. Okay. So if the four limbs are absent, that is called tetraphocomelia. As the name indicates, tetra means four, phoco means seal, and melos means limb. So phocomelia means phoco means seal, and melos means limbs. So seal-like limbs. If all the four limbs are affected, that is called as tetraphocomelia. So what is the drug causing this reaction is thalidomide. Thalidomide is a drug which causes the seal-like limbs, that is phocomelia, and it was discovered earlier saying to have a sedative and tranquilizer property, and also this drug was given to treat the morning sickness of the pregnant ladies between 20 to 37 days after conception. Then they found out those pregnant ladies who took this drug during that period, then babies were affected with congenital anomaly, that is called phocomelia or amelia, which is nothing but the seal-like limbs. Then uses of thalidomide today. What are the uses? Thalidomide has got an immunomodulator property. Okay, immunomodulator property, and the uses can be multiple myeloma, Then type 2 Lepra reaction, that is erythema nodosum leprosum. Okay, multiple myeloma is nothing but growth of abnormal plasma cells, that is your myeloma cells. So to treat this multiple myeloma, thalidomide was given, and erythema nodosum leprosum, which is a type 2 lepra reactions, which you have the cutaneous nodules. And then off-label uses. Off-label uses means not yet studies shown effective, not yet been prescribed in day-to-day practice. Okay, but it has found to be effective in some clinical trials. That is your aphthous ulcer. Okay, aphthosomatitis, Behçet's disease, sarcoidosis, other dermatological diseases, and Crohn's disease. Okay, some cancer also it has been used, including blood and bone marrow cancers like leukemia and myelofibrosis. Okay, leukemia and myelofibrosis. So multiple myeloma, erythema nodosum leprosum, off-label uses are apoptosis stomatitis, Behçet's disease, sarcoidosis, Crohn's disease, and including some cancer treatment in case of leukemia and myelofibrosis. So one question will be your identify the drug causing this ADR. What is this ADR? Phocomelia. Name the drug causing this ADR is your thalidomide. Write some other uses of thalidomide. You have to write these uses. Okay, multiple myeloma, then erythema nodosum leprosum. Mostly you can write the cancerous condition, then leukemia, myelofibrosis, and off-label uses will be aphthosomatitis, Behçet's disease, sarcoidosis, and Crohn's disease. Okay. Then the chart number 3. The next chart will be, see, there is some discoloration of the teeth. Okay. So in your chart, you will have this one. This is a clinical chart which you have to identify in your practical exam, and you will see bluish gray stain will be there. Okay, after you come back, we will show you these charts. So right now just see these charts, it will be like this only, bluish gray color stain. So you have to identify which drug causes this reaction. So most common this drug causes is tetracycline or minocycline, which are the broad spectrum antibiotic. So use of tetracycline or minocycline during the period of tooth formation, it leads to incorporation into this. So sorry, it is repeated. It leads to incorporation into the tooth structure, and then the outcome will be bluish gray stain. Okay. What are the other antibiotics also causes this bluish green grayish color will be amoxicillin and clavulanate combination, that is augmentin tablet, which has been used to treat the bacterial infections, and mechanism is not known. And others chlorhexidine, which is an your antiseptic mouthwash. Okay, so that drugs also can cause this bluish gray stain of the tooth. So one is tetracycline, minocycline, next is amoxicillin clavulanate, that is augmentin, and others can be chlorhexidine, okay, which is an antiseptic. So tetracycline is a broad spectrum antibiotic. Usually tetracyclines have got a chelating properties. Okay, chelating properties. They chelate the calcium ion, which is present mostly in your diet or antacids and milk. And then they form a complex, that is tetracycline calcium orthophosphate complex, which is an insoluble complex, and they get deposited in the linear growing bones and teeth. Okay, so you remember why there is discoloration of the teeth when you take tetracycline. They chelate the calcium ions. Usually calcium ion will be present in your diet, milk or antacids, and they form a complex, insoluble complex, that is tetracycline calcium orthophosphate. Okay, tetracycline calcium orthophosphate complex, which is insoluble complex. So this complex will be deposited in your linear growing bones and teeth. So staining of both the deciduous teeth and permanent teeth, and retardation of the bone growth usually occurs if tetracyclines are administered after first trimester of the pregnancies or when given to children below 10 years of the age. Okay, so tetracycline should not be given to any pregnant lady in the first trimester and is absolutely contraindicated in the children under 10 years of the age. Why? Because it causes staining of both the deciduous tooth and permanent tooth. Okay, and it leads to bluish gray color stain. Then Fanconi syndrome. What are the other syndrome caused by tetracycline? You can write is Fanconi syndrome. Okay, Fanconi syndrome is uh, um, tetracycline is causes this syndrome. That is when you take expired drug of tetracyclines. Once the tetracycline drug is expired, and if you take that drug, it will cause some kidney damage, and there will be azotemia and increase in the blood urea. That leads to Fanconi syndrome. And why this happens? Because of the accumulation of the products like epitetracycline and epi-anhydrotetracycline. Okay, epi-tetracycline and epi-anhydrotetracycline. But except the doxycycline and minocycline, they does not cause this Fanconi syndrome. Okay, except doxycycline and minocycline, that doesn't cause this Fanconi syndrome. Otherwise, there will be tetracycline. If you take, there will be staining of both the deciduous and permanent teeth, and there will be retardation of the bone growth will be there when you take tetracycline in first trimester of pregnancies or children below 10 years. Okay. Then other drugs you can remember is amoxicillin in clavulanic acid, that is augmentin tablet, and chlorhexidine mouthwash. Mechanism is not clear. What are the other syndrome caused by tetracycline? You can write Fanconi syndrome will be there. Minocycline and doxycycline will not cause this effect. Okay, thank you. So these are the three clinical charts you have to remember. Okay, regarding your exam point of view, this chart will be there. This is chart number 1, that is identify this area, that is angioedema, swelling of the leaves caused by AC inhibitors, and name few AC inhibitors. You have to write captopril, ramipril, lisinopril, enalapril, and uses of AC inhibitors will be hypertension. Other side effects can be your brassy cough, okay, and hypotension. Then other drugs causing angioedema apart from AC inhibitors will be your NSAIDs and antibiotics, that is beta-lactam and quinolones, and iodinated contrast media and neuromuscular blocking agents. Then coming to the management, you have to write the antihistamines and leukotriene receptor antagonist. Then second chart will be your seal-like limbs, which is mostly the drug causing disease thalidomide. Okay, which is called as phocomelia. So other uses of thalidomide you have to write is it is an immunomodulator drug, so it can be used for treating multiple myeloma will be there. Multiple myeloma, erythema nodosum leprosum, and actosomatitis, sarcoidosis, and some blood cancers like leukemia and myelofibrosis. Then use of tetracyclines, when tetracycline, this chart shows bluish gray stain of the teeth. The drug causing this will be tetracyclines. Other than that can be amoxicillin, clavulanic acid, mechanism remains unknown. And then the chlorhexidine mouthwash. Okay. So it causes a greenish or bluish gray color will be there. So when this happens, mostly in the first trimester of pregnancies, if the mother takes, it affects the newborn teeth and also children below 10 years of the age. Why it happens? Because it forms a chelating complex with the calcium ion, which is present in your diet or antacids, and forms an insoluble complex, that is tetracycline calcium orthophosphate complex. And this complex, being insoluble, gets deposited in the linear growing bones in teeth. Okay. And other than that, it causes Fanconi syndrome, and mostly that is kidney damage, and it happens because of accumulation of epitetracycline and epi-anhydrotetracyclines. Okay, except the doxycycline and minocycline. So these are the three clinical charts. So other two charts will be dealt to tomorrow. Thank you.